though, I've got to mention this story about the music industry because there could be big changes on the way. This after a court in New York found the concert giant Live Nation and its Ticketmaster subsidiary illegally monopolising the selling of tickets for concerts. Now, the civil case was originally brought by the federal government under President Biden, but was taken on by 33 individual US states when the Trump administration settled with the company. Nada Tawfik has been following the case for us.
Anybody who's tried to buy a concert ticket recently will have noticed just how much prices have gone up in recent years. And the Department of Justice, along with states, originally brought this lawsuit against Live Nation and Ticketmaster, which merged back in 2010, saying that they were stifling competition and in the process taking millions away from consumers. And what's so interesting is that when this trial got underway, the Department of Justice actually reached a settlement with Live Nation. And several of other kind of concert operators said that that settlement didn't go far enough. It was a minuscule amount in their view, a $280 million settlement when the company makes north of $20 billion in revenue each year. And that they felt it wasn't really addressing some of the structural problems that made Live Nation a monopoly. And so what we had was a coalition of 27 states deciding that they would continue with that lawsuit. And so this is a real victory for them.
So to get reaction to all of this, I talked to Stephen Parker, who's Executive Director of the National Independent Venue Association. He's based in LA in the United States. And I asked him if he's now calling on the company to be broken up.
We are. That is the core piece that will make sure that live entertainment can actually have competition again. And ultimately, a breakup is one of the most effective things that the government can do to make sure that Live Nation's monopoly, as we know from the trial today, can't snuff out competition like independent venues and can't abuse fans like they have, and like the court ruled that they did today.
Now, Live Nation is saying this is not the end of the matter. They will continue their fight to overturn this decision. This could go on and on, couldn't it?
We have significant doubts that Live Nation's going to be successful on an appeal, mostly because in the most recent modern history in U.S. antitrust law, government brought cases against monopolies have not been overturned. And so ultimately, we think that Live Nation's statement and vow to fight is more wishful thinking than anything else.
And so what is the outlook? How would this company be broken up? I mean, would Ticketmaster and Live Nation have to part company?
We think Live Nation and Ticketmaster should have to structurally separate, but we also think that Live Nation's artist management gives them competitive advantages that are unfair and potentially illegal based on what we found out today. And ultimately, we also think that Live Nation's leverage over the venues, which was talked about by many witnesses and by the government throughout this case, that needs to be addressed as well. Live Nation should not be able to book 100% of national tours anymore. We believe that that should be capped. And ultimately, that is their leverage that led to the monopolization verdict that we saw from jurors in New York today.
Really, really interesting, that story. Stephen Parker there giving us his reaction to that news.
Thank you so much, Sally.